Hi, welcome. This is Rio for Life, Kim D, with another Face It, You're Human segment. Today, we're going to be talking about is this my body? Body image, body dysmorphia. Along with that, I want to address some things and ask some questions to transgender people that are listening or watching. My journey with body began because my mother's breast milk was like 90 something percent fat. I mean, proteins or whatever. It was like massive. And I was a really big, like 30-pound, I was a big, the kind of little baby they love because he got those big chunky chunks. Oh, yeah. But I never crawled because I was too big. I could only roll. When I was about 9 months old, 10 months old, I just stood up and started walking. So I had a developmental jump, skip. I explored the world by spinning around, rolling, versus a regular progression of crawling to explore the world. Who's to say what came first, the chicken or the egg, as far as how your brain develops or thinks and things process? There's that nurture nature thing that plays into everything. But that's one of the pivotal things that begins. Now, on a positive note, when pediatrician said, no more breast milk for this baby, get this baby off the breast, my mother expressed and pumped her milk and took it to the hospital. And I believe there's two or three. I'm pretty sure the number was 3 failure to thrive babies that lived because of mom's superpowered breast milk. So yay team for the good breast milk. Was active. I wasn't a chubby child. I was pretty appropriate. But in my head, the body image that had created by the time I was 5 by the adults around me and their fixations on their own body images. And keep in mind, I was 5 in 1970. So there was a whole bunch of different things going on with the women specifically that I was around and that I had experiences with. So my body image at 5, there were things I had to do, things you had to take care of. At 5 years old, I wasn't counting calories or doing any of that, but I was painfully aware of the cost of food and the cost of healthy food. All of this gets jungled up. Remember, I'm just this little kid, just barely in real school. So as I progressed further on, being isolated, I wasn't allowed to have friends that weren't members of the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And so as a result, I had other limits on my world and my worldview and view of body image and food and everything. So we move forward. I'm not progressing physically. I'm a regular kid. But then as I'm approaching, 12, 13, there's nothing happening. 14, 15. I'm still a child physically. And then when I was moved up to Minnesota to live with my mom, when I was 14, and by the time, she was asking me, oh, why don't you need any feminine items? And I'm like, oh, what? I didn't know what sex was. I didn't know my dad, when I lived with him, he didn't sign the papers. So I didn't have the education. So I didn't know girls were supposed to have periods. So you don't miss what you don't know. That's another thing to hold on to right now as we go forward with talking about how we think and feel about our body. Don't know what you don't know until you know it. So here I am. My mom takes me to the doctor. The doctor gives me these meds. Everyone thinks that someone else is telling me. The doctor thinks my mother's told me, and they use all these medical words. My mother thinks the doctor's going to tell me. Meanwhile, nobody tells me. A few days later, start the feminine cycle stuff, and I don't know what's going on, but it got all handled real quickly. Then the body started changing. Then I started developing. And the little B cups I got now are the same B cups I had then. So, not certain things about my body never really changed. So, my whole puberty had to be started by hormones because I was a DES daughter. My mother was given this drug to prevent miscarriage because once babies got to a certain weight, she was threatening to lose them. That drug was later banned in the 70s, but that was a part of the core of physically why these things happened. It affected my hypothalamus, which did not start my body into puberty. So here we go. So now we are moving into how my body image changed because now I'm kind of normal. I'm like any other normal teenager. So we move forward. Somewhere along the way, my brain made a change. And when I would look in the mirror, I didn't see a healthy, normal person. My brain saw this huge blob. And so I was constantly wanting, needing to work out, needing to do certain things. And it started somewhere around 18, 19, and I don't know why, but that's when even looking in a mirror became challenging because I didn't see my own reflection. Not sure where or why. Sooner or later down the road, I ended up, after I had my daughter, it was difficult losing weight. Then I ended up gaining weight. I ended up being 303 pounds. Now, by the time, hello, hi. By the time I was 303 pounds, well, my brain saw the cheerleader I was in high school. So that's what my body dysmorphia was and is. I don't. Oh, hello from Indonesia. Love to see you here. Thank you. Um, Working on learning different parts of your language because I have so many other people from your area that I enjoy watching their content. So you might hear different words slip out from time to time. So, anyways, back to how my brain, it got to that point where here I am big, but my brain sees me small. So something disconnected along the way. I don't know where or why or how, but I've spent a lifetime trying to just sort out how uncomfortable I am physically being in my body. I had weight loss surgery. I had Roux-en-Y gastric bypass in 1998, and that changed my life. I had LASIK eye surgery about 6 months later, and then it's like I could see. I was almost legally blind, and so all of a sudden, everything changed within before the year 2000. We're in 2026 now. It's amazing to me that I've had 2.5 decades since then, and I finally understand. Finally feel differently about my body. My body dysmorphia hasn't really changed. I'm looking right here at myself in the camera, and what you might see isn't what I'm seeing. So it's kind of different how these things happen. And let me see if I can do something here. Oh, yeah, there we go. So we just fixed a little problem here. I am new at some of the YouTubey stuff, so we're going to just roll with it. So back to where I was. I had all these changes. And you could just imagine going from 303 pounds to 127 pounds in about a year and a half is a huge mental challenge. Huge. It's just one of those things that you can't describe. And it all happened so fast. I made an arrangement with a thrift store in Aurora, Colorado, um, where every week the first week I went and bought a whole wardrobe. And every week I'd go in and we would exchange items because I was losing weight that fast. It's mind-boggling. And I've got a lot of pictures and things. So later I'll put a little thing video up for you and kind of show you some of the progression. Along the way, you're dealing with relationships and how other people view and see you. I had been dressed in a suit, 250, 300 pounds, ready for a data entry job interview at an employment office, temp agency, only to be told they couldn't send me on the interview because I didn't look professional enough. And it was all about weight. So I absolutely understand being discriminated against for what you look like. Okay, this has been my journey I'm talking about. Now, the questions I want to ask coming up are going to change a little direction of this. I'm sharing with you my experience of what I've felt in my own body. It was, oh my gosh, 2017, maybe 2015, because of a long time of gum disease. I finally made the choice and had all my teeth taken out. So now I have these wonderful dentures. Talk about another thing. Oh my God, if there's anything I hate more on this planet, it's my teeth. I hate them. All the people in my real circle, man, this isn't what they see. This isn't how my voice sounds because my S's and different letters are very pronounced without the teeth. With the teeth, I can't taste food because guess what? Most of my taste buds are the roof of my frickin' mouth. So what would you do? Really? I've heard of people that have prosthetics and the first thing they frickin' do is take them off. They're not wearing that shit around the house. They're doing their own adjustments and accommodations without it. Because for a lot of people, that prosthetic, it's for the world. It's to be acceptable in the world. Kind of sucks that that's the way it is, but that's the way it is. Um, oh, I actually have I think, a video out there where I don't have my teeth in. I was pissed at something and just poofed, went online. Didn't take it down, so I said, ah, it can stay. So now we're moving into the next area, and that area is transgender. Now, one thing I'll tell you about me is I look at people as human beings, not any of the labels either they give themselves or society has given them. To me, you're a human. You're not male, you're not female, you're not old, you're not young, you're just simply a human. And everyone progresses differently. And so I am very unique in that way that I just don't. I don't look at you as even having hair or not hair or and that's a gift. That's a gift I have that I am able to just see a human being. It can be kind of scary for some people because I can go real deep real quick with you because I'm not afraid to tell you what I'm seeing. Mm, But I'm here to support you in with anything deep that I might share, which is why I'm talking to transgender. I've helped people. There was a gentleman who was in transition and his wife was supporting him. And I had a dress shop with about 1,500 bridesmaids' dresses and wedding gowns and event space. And this was 2017 here in Hibbing, Minnesota. And his wife said, I want you to experience whatever you're going to be as you go through this transition. So I really want you to find a fancy, pretty evening gown or cocktail dress, or, I want you to spend some time to, see what type of woman you are. Whoa, loving this lady. I never met her, but I did meet him. 6'4" tall, broad shoulders, and we found him this amazing dress. The color, I did a couple alterations, and so There's a post on Facebook, on my Facebook about it, when it happened, and it was just an amazing experience to let this person decide for themselves what they want to be outside of anything. I'm just helping this human being find some outfit of clothing material that they appreciated. They felt comfortable in texture, the whole bit. And I don't know whatever happened. And that's not my role on this planet. I don't ever have to get the follow through of what someone ended up. My role is just to be that little piece along the way. That's it. I'm That's it. I'm that little piece. So back to my question about the trans, because any of the trans people out there watching, this is what I need. I have a dear friend, a new friend, about 8 months into this friendship. And I don't talk to people. I don't text. I could show you my log and it's like nobody talks to me. I am the least social person you might ever meet. And you would go, I can't freaking believe she doesn't have her phone ringing off the hook. Because I know that's not the kind of thing I can do right now. Maybe later, but as I deconstruct and reconstruct from Mormonism, I'm getting to find out who I am. So it's my own transition. So I understand this much about what a trans person might be going through. But I do know what it feels like not to be comfortable in my own body. But, and I asked my dear friend this, who is always talking about how they just don't pass. So I know I don't pass. And I told her, I said, "Oh, I really want you to think about this, hon, because what are you trying to pass? What I understand trans is a transition, but you're telling me that this is who you are and what you feel, and you're a woman. So when are you just going to be a woman?" I said, I'm not trying to be confrontational, but I'm just saying, when I see you, you are everything you're telling me you want to be. So where's the disconnect? And I'm asking because I've got my own disconnect, and it's kind of similar but different. Um, and I love how I feel about my friends that are trans, non-binary, whatever. Um, I have discovered personally that I'm basically asexual. Um, had I been allowed to actually be who I needed to be and not set up to be a wife and mother that the Mormon church set me up to be for all eternity, pregnant with sister wives forever. Oh my God, now I realize I don't really like a lot of that stuff. I'm autistic ADHD and it's okay. It's good. Not everybody needs to be hugged, and kissed and loved on. You know, might like to give a little oral every now and then, but that's just me being human. I'm not completely shut off from those things, but I don't need the relationships. I don't need those experiences. And so I do identify with so many parts of this newer community to me, which I will honestly say my mother, who's very close to Silent Generation, born in 45, and her family, and I will say lovingly, you might hate this, but they refer to LGBTQ plus as alphabet soup because it just keeps adding on letters. But they call it that in a wonderful, loving way because they're anxious to learn what all these letters mean. But in their brains, it's just alphabet soup. And I love it for them that I do. And so if you hear me call it that, it's only because I forget what any new letters are in this evolving world we're living in. So there we go. Body dysmorphia and all of these things can happen naturally as we age. Seriously, you look in the camera, we look and we get closer and we go, "Oh my freaking God, that's not the face I remember." No, It's not. It's not gonna be. Thank goodness, because 'cause you're still here listening to this, and hopefully you've overcome different things to get right here to this moment, whether it be drugs, alcohol, food, abusive relationships, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. You're right here listening to me, and that means something because 'cause you're here for a reason. You might not even know the reason. Only reason I can tell you why you could stumble on this is because you needed to know that there are actually some people in the world that can look at someone just as a human with absolutely no other real judgments. Anything that I notice, it's more a statement of fact versus judgment. And it's just what I see. So don't be hard on yourself as you're going through all these processes and changes because guess what? We're all human and each and every one of us is going through it also. It's just in a different way. And most not as big as my experience with weight and having weight loss surgery, or someone's experience with being trans and the different surgical procedures that many go through. And I'm very blessed that this new friend, they've gone through the entire process, top bottom surgeries, legal name changes, all of this. They are married. It is such a testament of the fact, the absolute fact that there are human beings on this planet that do not feel in connection with the gender or with the body they were given. It's just fact. You can be mental, chromosomal, physical, it does not matter what it is, but it is there and it is real. And not everybody has the funds or the insurance or the means to make themselves comfortable with their body. They might be trying all different kinds of things on the internet. And I'm not just talking trans, I'm talking weight, people losing weight or gaining weight. There's the big thing with all the shots and pills and I don't fault anybody for anything they're going to be trying. I want you to know you are okay exactly the way you are. Whether you see yourself in the mirror the way I do or not, you are absolutely perfect the way you are because you're here breathing. And so I'm getting ready to wrap this up a little bit. And so, hey, a voice down under, got any little questions or tips? I'm always down for that. I'm so new at this. And thank you for being here. It's amazing to your weight gain has caused you to have severe sleep apnea. Oh my goodness. That is not good. I sleep pretty much sitting up, but it's for a different reason. I had a complication from my weight loss surgery that nobody found for 20 years. So I have a Barrett's esophagus and so I have all different kinds of acid that naturally is creating in my pouch. So I have to sleep sitting up basically. And that's not comfortable when you've got all this weird bloating I don't know, I've got all this weird bloating that started. So it's like my whole abdomen area is in this constant state of does not help to feel comfortable in the body when the body is constantly changing. It's like our brains aren't able to really catch up all the time. You started Ozempic. I know someone, actually, it's about one of my only real best friends. We get together in the summer. It's like almost once a week. We're getting together doing projects, but then winter comes and it's every 6 weeks. But we never text, we never call. We only see each other in real time. Oh my God, 75 pounds. And she's a changed human being. Her arthritis and her fibro and all different kinds of things have so many less symptoms, and she doesn't have the side effects she did in the beginning. And so kudos, follow what they're telling you. Read your pamphlet. I'm a big thing of reading terms and conditions. Don't don't pretend, that the information isn't out there because it is. And stay strong through whatever, and make sure you ask questions if any of those complications, the warning signs they put on the packaging, those are important for what you're going through. Um, and I never did that until like 4 years ago, actually reading the pamphlet that came with my prescriptions. And I'm like, dang, so now I know why this is happening. But what happened was the doctors kept giving me more and more prescriptions for the symptoms of the side effects. And I'm like, oh my freaking God, can't do this. So I figured out the food items and made my prescriptions go way down because my body's naturally being able to deal with the side effects. And I swear to God, just baking soda and regular vinegar is the godsend of cleaning and health. Although it did remove most of my plaque off of my teeth, because that was our toothpaste growing up, with baking soda. Or maybe it was the 3-pound bags of lemons my dad would let me eat in single sittings. Not quite sure, but either way, yeah. These are actually better. I don't have pain when I eat. And before I did, I couldn't have hot, cold. But back to body image. When I see other creators and different people, even publicly disparaging anybody for a body image issue or any physical kind of thing, they have let me know what their character is and how they view humans in general. And most people that do that view humans as animals or pets. They don't really put you as a person. Because if you are able to look at any human being and disparage them for something you're seeing on the internet, yeah, you need to really think about yourself, because that's indication of you. I can show you boudoir pictures, G-rated basically, PG rated, good enough I could put them on YouTube. And I could show you the pictures of me looking like I'm a hobo on the street. So, body image is subjective, physical or internal. Now, how this loops back into my Face It program, Face It You're Human, is okay. We've got body image. I'm sitting here going, I don't see the same thing my brain's telling me I'm seeing. So I have to focus. Face it. Focus, accountable, communicate, engage. That's face. So here I focus on the fact that this is a fact, that what I'm seeing isn't real. So I have to close my eyes and look at what I feel. How does my face feel? Do I feel hydrated? Does my skin feel rough? Ooh, I've been out in the sun a lot and it's all leathery, but it doesn't go away. It's like I'm getting old enough that I got that, leathery skin has started. 61. Okay, so now, all right, I'm a little aware, but I'm aware I just have some dryness here. So now that I'm aware of a couple of things, I'm accountable. What am I going to do about it? Maybe use a little more sunscreen. Double up on some water right now. It is getting warmer. I'm doing more outside work. And maybe lotion every evening as part of a mindful relaxation. Just tenderly, do these things. Maybe make it feel like I'm awaiting time, or, I will always have the chubby cheeks. There's nothing I can do about that. But the dark circles, there's things that can help without makeup. Okay, so now, we're moving on to C. I've got that internal communication that's telling me something's wrong, telling me this isn't right. And I'll have to do what I need to do to remind myself it's okay, that it's not balancing. There isn't always something on the other side of the equal sign. Sometimes it's a variable, and it's okay. A lot of people with autism, ADHD, different other OCD, you have to have something on the other end of the equal sign. And you're uncomfortable until you have a resolution there. I learned to put X. I put a variable there. I put a placeholder there to trick my brain into moving forward. So then I can move forward to the external communication where I don't talk about myself like I'm a piece of crap, or I don't make notice to the things that I think other people see. Because guess what? You might not notice any of it at all. Okay, now engage. How do I engage internally? I've already described a couple of things. See how face just moves right along. So I got that internal, and that's where I'm putting my accountability into action, internally and externally, by actually applying the lotion, to quote a movie reference. But I won't lower it down in a bucket. You'll have a nice shelf with all your options available. Inside joke. So, anyways, now we move into first space. First space, as you remember, has tons of junk in it. It was an open, clear sky when I was little, but now it's got space junk. So you use all the principles of face in that first space and jump around. Try a new lotion, try a new program, try whatever you want to try, because this is where you're playing around with all the concepts of face. By doing this, you are developing what's important to you because you're going to do it, whether it's positive or negative. That's what humans do. You will do what's important to you. Took me 3 years to get to doing this live here with you, but let me tell you, I'm here doing it because it was important enough to me to do it. All right, that develops integrity. Integrity is fluid because what's important to you is fluid. Integrity is a combination of your inside and your outside views. People think you have a certain integrity because you live in an apartment versus owning a home. So you've got all different biases and crap involved in those words. But you get to make your integrity yours. Now, time, remember, time is man made, so you and I can be right here live. That's the time factor. You might set time away to be on the replay crew. Woohoo! I am replay crew on 2 channels, and I am grateful when I can catch one of Cricket's lives at Chow Yun Smut. And growing up in polygamy, I mainly do videos, but when I can catch a live, woohoo, I'm in. So if you're on replay crew, more power to you. You might have to slow me down on the speed instead of speeding me up. Ha! More watch time that way. No, just kidding. I'm learning to pace myself. It's where we're together. Time is where you figure out how to make your 24-hour work. Because that's what you've got, 24 hours. So now you're playing around with your integrity in second space. Because there's a space between not 1, not 2, but 3 exclamation points. Because life is joy, bliss. Whatever word you want to put there, that's what it is. And that's the Face It program. And Face It can be used, I believe, for anything you might be dealing with. You can take these 4 simple things of face and take the 2 of it to make it real and then start having fun. So those are the concepts that I try and put into every single one of these kind of discussions to show you how my brain works and how the program works, because there's so much more to come on that. I got chapter 1 done of the book. I'm starting on chapter 2. The workbooks for the program are done, so we're this close to launching the online part. However, I want the book done first, so it could be up to a year, 6 months, maybe at the beginning of winter, when we'll be able to do more with that. I will be putting it out there for some beta testers, so keep me in mind. Like, subscribe, and share. I want you to know there are so many people out there that really do care about you, really do. And make a list of the people you're putting time into and the people that are putting time into you. and do some thinking. ab- Because as you change the things about how you accept yourself and your body and your mind, that's one of the first things that's going to change. And it can be one of the hardest ones. So I'm just giving you a heads up as you're doing this. You don't need to worry about it now, but just be aware that's the ebbs and flows of life. It's not that people are really gone, although some might need to be, but the fact that they're in your life, they're always a part of you. And you have to come to terms with that. The same thing as coming to terms with yourself first, because it all starts with you. So I'm gonna get ready to start my day. Mom gets here about 2 in the afternoon. We are getting a tent in the backyard. I'm taking all of my personal belongings and putting it in this 3-man tent on tables and finishing up a project that I started in 2017 to commit to tiny living, to have a small footprint, and I will be recreating my little YouTube studio here into a year-round little home. And so it's, I think, 15 by 7 foot. And here we go. So every breath is another chance, another choice. Get out there and live it. Thanks for being here.